The first time I properly considered the 12 days of Christmas, I was surprised by a number of factors. Firstly, with all the drummers drumming, the lords leaping and the ladies dancing, surely your true love's going to get sent down for human trafficking. I mean, that's some serious crazy stuff going on right there. Secondly, 12 days of Christmas might sound like a magical dream to some, but it's just plain unrealistic for the rest. I mean, my family go all out for the celebrations from Christmas Eve through to Boxing Day. By the end of that, we are shattered, completely shattered, and that's just 3 days. I've no idea how anyone could do Christmas for 12 days. Sadly as well, most of us have now gone back to the daily grind of work, and really, Christmas is the last thing on our minds now. Finally though, I always found it quite surprising that the 12 days of Christmas begins on Christmas Day, it's that it ends on January the 6th. I mean, once it gets to this point, once it gets past New Year, the last thing you want to think about really is Christmas, surely. I mean, it's just, you know, it's in the past really. Sometimes I think it's just to give us a bit more flexibility in getting the decorations down, eating up all the leftover food. Seriously, while I was home, there wasn't one thing that wasn't wrapped up in cling film when I left. Another part of me thinks it's to do with easing the pain of letting it go after the massive build-up to Christmas. I think because it started so early this year, like in the middle of November, by the time it actually got round to Christmas, it felt really, really short. You know, that's not surprising really. And then there's a little cynical part of me that thinks it's all to do with the big corporations allowing more time to shove sales, discounts and must-have deals down our throats. Honestly. Whatever the case, I doubt there are many people, if any, who are still celebrating Christmas at the moment. I mean, it's a dozen days after it. That's just a bit too much really. But the fact that Christmas doesn't last for a dozen days, in my books, is a good thing. Everything ends after all, and it might be a particularly bleak way of looking at it, but at the same time, Christmas is an annual constant. It'll roll back in its usual fashion next winter, or even October if the retailers think they can push it just a little bit more. I imagine Christmas stuff up before Halloween, that's a very weird thought. But then even the big corporations have moved on too. I mean, I went to my local supermarket before New Year and all the decorations had gone. At the front of the store were just these promotions on the blooming cream eggs. Already those were being rolled out, like limited time offer, and I was just like, only till April? God, that really is limited, I better get my skates on. More than anything, it allows those Scrooges among us some room to breathe. It might seem ludicrous to those of us who particularly indulge in the festive period, but not everyone likes Christmas or indeed celebrates it. I mean, one of my housemates didn't even go home for Christmas. He spent the day alone in our house share. And while I find that image horrific and couldn't bear the idea of not being around family and friends at Christmas, you know, some people just aren't that bothered by it. And of course, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If anything, the fact that Christmas is now over means both sides will stop fighting about it and go back to the way things were, really. Do I have any regrets from the festive period? Well, maybe apart from the number of mince pies I consumed, I would say that I didn't take as many photos as I thought I would. I sent like one measly Snapchat of the crib service on Christmas Eve. Lord knows what God would think about that. But then at the same time, I just forgot to beg and plead with family members to smile for a photo. At the same time though, while they would have been nice to look back on to remind myself of fond memories of the festive period, I was too busy, engrossed in having too much of a good time to even think about it. Christmas is one of those things where it's best enjoyed in the moment itself. And if anything, having the photos of the festive period, it's a bit weird looking at them like, say, in the middle of June, where Christmas should be the last thing on your mind. So, farewell Christmas. Despite a few bumps, 2014 has been an absolute cracker for me, and 2015 has a lot to live up to. Well, that's that series done. But thankfully it's a new year, 2015. Just wait and see what's coming. On the first day of Christmas, Zeppelin gave to me a video because I subscribed.